Hello there. On today's episode, we're going to talk about dealing with negative people. Hello. As promised, today we're going to talk about how to deal with negative people who come into your life, those lessons that are sent to you for you to overcome and to grow as an individual. I don't know if we always see them like that. I think sometimes we push back, and what you fight, you attract. And ultimately, understanding how these individuals who come into your life and how you can assist them is going to be a big part of your 1-year life transformation journey. Because whilst this is all about you, there's opportunities to transform the world around you every single day. So as always, I'm going to start with a quote. And that quote is, "How fine you look when dressed in rage. Your enemies are fortunate your condition is not permanent. You're lucky too. Red eyes suit so few." I'll read that quote once again. "How fine you look when dressed in rage. Your enemies are fortunate your condition is not permanent. You're lucky too. Red eyes suit so few." By that incredible creative essence of quantum mechanics, universal spirit, Cheshire Cat. Definitely my favourite character of all time. So I think James Franco, great actor, illustrates this particularly well. And I'm just going to I'll get my mate James Franco to talk about this.
He's peanut butter and jealous.
What is there to be jealous of?
They hate us because they ain't us. Hate us because they ain't us. Haters gonna hate, and ain'ters gonna ain't.
So the universe is going to test you, and it's going to throw things at you. Now, the best way for the universe to test you is to take what it knows is its greatest creation, which is other life forms, other humans, and throw them at you. Because humans, conscious beings, are challenges because they're smart, they can move on their feet, they can deceive. I mean, a rock can't deceive you, but a person can. So the universe loves sending humans, negative people, damaging people your way to strengthen your resolve and to release your true spirit. Because ultimately it knows that's its best weapon. And you don't get stronger at the gym by not lifting weights or avoiding weights. You only get stronger at the gym by dealing with the weights and actually, going through the motions and the exercises. So we're going to talk about that today. So you're going to be tested on this 1-year journey. You're going to, and I'm going to test you, but more importantly, my mate, or who I am, who we all are, the universe is going to test you, because you're going to see videos about concepts that may not be in the mainstream. And they're going to hit a chord with you. And if they're hitting you at the right time, they're going to start resonating, start making some noise and vibrational frequency. And you're going to talk to other people about them, and they're going to go, "That's crap. That's no good. Who believes that? I mean, I've got a mortgage payment. Who cares about spirits and stuff like that? Who cares about fulfilling lives? I mean, I've got to pay this bill." And it's going to be thrown at you to test your resolve, and it's going to happen over this 1-year challenge. So it's important that we're dealing with this now, and you understand how to embrace these challenges. So number one, when dealing with negative people, number one, don't get into an argument. An old Chinese proverb says, "From a distance, two people arguing both look wrong." There's no need to argue. Guess why? Because you're right. But unfortunately, so is the other person. You're both right. You're coming from two different places. You're both looking for connection, understanding, and love. You just have two different vehicles. Don't argue, and there's no problem. When things come up you don't agree with, just nod your head politely and say, "Oh, okay, that's interesting, maybe." You don't have to fight. I say maybe a lot. People who know me will say all sorts of crazy stuff to me, and I'll just say maybe, and they know that I'm very difficult to get out of my state of peace, because I don't mind if you tell me that everything's no good. That's okay, maybe it is. I'm not going to fight that. Don't argue. Number two, empathize with them. What are they saying behind the message? When someone goes, life is all about getting money and getting ahead, what are they really saying? Perhaps they're telling you that, they don't know any other way. Maybe you can direct them towards some of these videos. Maybe you can give them some of the knowledge, the knowing, the source that's coming through you as you start to absorb some of this ancient external wisdom. Empathize with them. They don't have what they need. And if you were in their shoes and experienced everything they did during their life, you would be saying the exact same thing they did, guaranteed. 3, lend a helping hand. Assist. Give these people a way. Don't preach. In fact, Jesus taught this very well. If you're going to tell a parable, don't give the moral of the story at the end of the day. Allow these people to find their own way by lending a helping hand. They may be negative because They haven't exercised for a long time. Assist them with that. 4, if you are in a situation with a negative person and you can't get out, stick to light topics. Misery loves company, and don't feed them. Don't start talking about the media or terrorism or ISIS or whatever the hot button topic of the day is to make you feel scared that some politician is pushing. Don't push it with them because you will incite their anger. Number 5, ignore their negative comments. What you feed will achieve. What you give life to will grow. So when they say things like, I think all Muslims are no good, just go, well, you know what? I've got soccer practice later on. Do you like soccer? That's the best way to handle it. Don't feed into this stuff. You know, if it's negative, it dies. Negativity has no life. It's not a creative force. So when it's not given fuel, it dies. Whereas with love, on the opposite, it grows. So just ignore these things. When you're talking to them and they're talking about the terrible world we live, maybe remind them of the good things. You know, how amazing is it? There's going to be 24 degrees tomorrow. I'm thinking about going to the beach. How will you spend your day? Or I noticed that, you know, you're looking really good. You've lost some weight. What's all that about? Remind them, bring them back to the goodness in life. Number 7, be responsible for your actions. If you do something and someone goes nuts about it, understand that you had a part to play in it. You can't say, well, they're just a crazy person and, you know, they need to get their stuff sorted out. Understand that perhaps you're not perfect and perhaps you need to look at your behaviours and actions because it might be eliciting negative feelings from those people. And number 8, finally, after you've done all these things, if the person is still within the repeating pattern of behaviour that they're negative and dragging you down, leave. You are not their teacher. Now, that doesn't mean you're not a teacher. You may be able to teach many, many people around the world different concepts. But if you've tried all these things and the person hasn't changed, get out of their life. Because that will allow room for another teacher to come in and to help them. But the more you stick around, the more you become an enabler. The more you become an enabler, the more the negativity starts to grow. And ultimately, only two things can happen. You go or you become negative. And you're far too important to be drained and sucked into that situation. Misery loves company. Don't be the company. Because this 1 year life challenge, this present moment, this video is all you got. You are the incredible divine spirit of the universe. I fundamentally believe and know that. Don't believe it, know it. Big difference. So therefore, you owe it to yourself and to the people around you to make sure that if you can't defer these negative comments, that you simply leave and find more great people around you. Psychologists often say it's easier to interview 4 people who know you than to interview the individual. You'll get a better response from the 4 people around them because that's what you're like. So if you are like the 4 people around you, make sure if there's any negative people like that around you that you help them change. You'll come into contact with lots of negative people. You'll have lots of ways of helping them. But ultimately, remember, your journey is your journey and you can only walk this path. Stay positive, stay focused, stay present, and I can guarantee you things will work out. And I'll see you for tomorrow's video. Bye.